Any CFO that says I have to be in the room in order to be involved in any strategy, that's ego talking.
Ron and I have the same. We believe that strategic planning is an oxymoron, right? There's strategy and there's planning, but
Okay.
that is distinct and separate from the strategy. So how do you as a CFO kind of work those things together? Yes, you have to do the planning piece, we know, but how do you put your strategic hat on as a CFO?
My response is no, I don't think so, because I've been in those rooms and I look at it as like, hey, look, if I'm going to be in the 14 meetings that it takes to get to the final meeting, I'd rather just not be there. Just give me the cliff notes. And then at the end, when you tell me, hey, we're going to pay for this, like, okay, that's fine. At the end of the day, do you really care what I think anyway? Unless like money's really tight and it's like, okay, we got to talk about cash flow, ins, outs, the timing of payables coming in or payables going out, receivables coming in, things like that. But when it really comes down to it, you say, um, when this information goes out there, if you have done your job as a CFO and been again consistent communication out the door, so people when they if they can ask themselves, would Natty look at it this way? And if they say no, then it's like, okay, I have somehow in my consistency with my communication trained people outside of my department to be my benefactor in that room. And so if they hear something that's going to be like, cocks my head a little bit, then they might go, wait a second, I think we need to go back and ask Natty this question. Um, that is a perfect way to be able to be inside strategy, but never have to actually be inside the strategy because you're training the people around you to understand what the value of a dollar really is, what the cost of this decision really is. And when they go into these rooms, I'm there by proxy, almost like it's just in my mind. It's just about them, when you have Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda and Darth Vader, they're all in blue I feel like if as people go into meetings and they have conversations, if I've done my job, then I'm sitting there in blue with my lightsaber, just going, make the right decision, make the right decision. Yeah, I think there's ways to actually affect strategy without being personally involved. Any CFO that says I have to be in the room in order to be involved in any strategy, that's ego talking.